Welcome back to the PSN Commanders Network, also on the Protest Sports Network. We are back with another game preview. Before we get into an AGT, go to God, man. For our guys right now, God's opening doors and paving way for all you wonderful people. And closing old chapters need to be closed in Jesus' name. Pray, man. Today's video, I got a special guest with me. Like him, introduce himself. Y'all seen him on the channel before, but it's been a while. It's been a while. A lot of new subs since then. So, you better introduce yourself, my good man.
Man, yeah, what's going on, buddy? Like he said, it's been way too long, but Steezy A. Smith covered the Seahawks, covered a bunch of other sports, but man, I'm happy to be on, bro. For real. Thank you for having me.
This is my first Seahawks YouTuber. Not gonna lie, it's my guy right here. But we relate to each other very well. I watch a lot of his content. My man be fly as hell. My man be is literally the Hispanic version of Stephen A. himself. My man be getting it in. I mean, looking fly in the videos, killing it with the content. With his NBA, NFL, especially by the Seattle Seahawks. He has collabs with Seahawks Inside on Instagram. Go check those out. A lot of good stuff, man. So go subscribe to his channel. There's a lot of good stuff on the Steve A. Smith YouTube channel. So please go subscribe. And if you are a comer from Steve A. Smith, subscribe to me, man. I know I don't do Seahawks content. I know, I get it. But hey, you want to learn about another team and you want to hear some rants every now and then, subscribe. I appreciate it. But let's get right into today's game preview. So let's talk about the last week's game that we both incurred. I'll start with you. I know that was a little ugly. That wasn't pretty. That was a little it was bad. How do you feel about last week's game? What's some things that you guys want to work on going to this week versus the Commanders? And were there any positive came in that game? It was a 37-3 game. So I don't know how you feel about any positive take out of that game or not.
Man, honestly, bro, there's a lot to take away from that game. And I think for me, my biggest takeaway was that, there's a lot for Seattle to do for them to kind of climb up into that upper echelon of teams in the NFC. Just because going into the season, I thought that Seattle was going to be a dark horse contender. They're going to be competing with the likes of the Eagles, the Niners, and perhaps even the Cowboys. But I think with what that game showed us, it's like, Seattle's still a couple steps behind some of those top teams, especially in the NFC. And so I'm not tripping too hard about it. Every now and then a team is going to get just blown out like that. We look at the Detroit Lions, for example. A lot of them are talking about, or a lot of people are talking about them as a potential sleeper in the NFC, but I don't think they've forgotten the fact that the Lions did get blown out at the hands of the Ravens a couple of weeks ago. And so, yeah, exactly. But people are still looking at the Lions and saying, oh, yeah, they're a sleeper in the NFC. And so with Seattle, I don't think, things should change all that much just because Seattle has been Detroit, in both times in the last two meetings. And so on to the next one, that's what it is. And so, like you said, it's Commanders week this week, and, it's going to be a great game. I can't wait.
Facts. Yeah, as for my thoughts on that game, yeah, it was just ugly. There's a lot of things you guys can learn from. The Ravens offense was super efficient the entire game. The run game was huge for them. I know you guys are better than that stopping the run. I watched a few games for you guys this year. Y'all a lot better than that stopping the run. So that's kind of an anomaly. I would take that as an anomaly. I wouldn't go in the game if I'm Ron Rivera. So they can't stop the run. Run down their throat. No. No. That was an anomaly. In my opinion.
I'd say so too.
Nonetheless. The Ravens just they're a different animal right now, and I don't know what the heck kind of anger that Lamar Jackson and the Ravens had toward the league, but they're taking out the whole dang league. So we'll give y'all a pass for that. I think you guys still a pretty good football. Yeah, like that's
bro. I got the Ravens in the Super Bowl, like for real, and I've been had them in the Super Bowl. So getting blown out by the
Super Bowl too. I think they're the one three teams in the AFC that should make the Super Bowl. One of them three teams. Between them, I will still throw Kansas City in there, and I would. Yeah. I'm kind of done with Buffalo. I'm tired of their foolishness.
Why the Bengals?
Bengals maybe. I gotta see Joe Burrow continue to look healthy before I declare them as a true contender, but. Yeah, Lamar definitely kills NFC team. Shout out to Lil Gilly, man. I ain't seen you in a while, bro. What's going on? But yeah, as for our game, we struggled to beat the Patriots 20-17. My quick thoughts on that one. that was Eric Bieniemy's best call game of the season in my eyes, beside the 2 Philadelphia games. Nice amount of balance. Still too many passes for me. Sam Howell's throwing the ball way too much for me. I'm not a fan of this. I want some more offensive balance. But he's starting to kind of tone it down. It ain't 50 passes no more. It's 45. And we're seeing more of the run game with Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, things of that nature. But yeah, the defense has no pass rush. Without Chase Young and Montez Sweat, this pass rush is completely non-existent. It was so non-existent before they got traded, but now it's evident that it's just non-existent. It just doesn't exist. So that's scaring me a little bit. And if McCorkle Jones is Geno Smith, we probably get carved up. So I am slightly concerned, nonetheless. But a victory is a victory. A victory is a victory in the National Football League. I'll take it. We're 1 game below 500 now. We're trying to get back in the race for a wild card spot. You guys are still contending for a division title. So you guys got a lot to play for in this mid-November matchup. So let's get to the actual game. We talked about both of our teams' previous matchups. What is your injury report looking this week for y'all? So I haven't checked it. Can you hear me?
Hold on, I lost you for a little bit. Say that one more time.
What are you guys' injury report looking for this week?
Man, well, it looks like right now, I think everybody's set to play. Anthony Bradford, the rookie guard from LSU, he's the only one that's been officially listed as out. And the status of Jordan Brooks, inside linebacker, it is still kind of somewhat in jeopardy. But aside from that, I think this is probably one of the healthiest games that Seattle's had all year long. Right tackle Abraham Lucas still isn't back into the lineup, but head coach Pete Carroll did say he is going to practice next week. And so hopefully he'll be back in time for that Thanksgiving matchup versus the Niners. But again, like I said, other than that, this is probably one of the healthiest that Seattle's been all year long.
Okay, so I'm grabbing my inside writer John Kimes injury report here. So we only have one person questionable. We have no one out. That's Curtis Samuel with the toe. He sprained his toe in the Eagles game in Week 8. He's been kind of fighting that since then. So he's questionable to play. Emmanuel Forbes had full practice all week. He had kind of like an oblique strain or something like that. He's ready to play. So that's about it. It's just Curtis Samuel for us. But he's a huge part of our offense. So he's a Swiss Army knife. And you probably saw him last year run all these reverses, catching screens, and catching other passes, and good in the red zone. He's important. So hope we do get Kirko back this week. He's a huge boost to our offense. But shout out to Jamison Crowder, the OG, triple OG, out there doing his thing. And Brian Pringle, man, I couldn't believe I would say Brian Pringle's making plays out there, but Brian Pringle's looking solid. So I have faith in those two if Curtis can't play, but if he can, that would be great. I'm glad to see that most of your guys are healthy. I hope that Abraham Lucas does come back next week. He's a huge part of your offensive line. I like your 2 young tackles. They're pretty good. You guys draft well, which I like a lot. But yes,
right.
Pretty about it for the injury report for both teams. Pretty short and simple. What's some things you want to see your team do offensively and defensively going into this game in order to get a victory here?
Man, I think for one, I need to see Seattle convert on 3rd down. Just because when you look at the talent, it's like there's no way that Seattle should be near the bottom of the league as far as conversion rate, conversion percentage on 3rd down. Right, but it's been like that for the last couple of years. And so obviously that's not entirely on the personnel. I think that's more so on the coaching staff and the play calling and whatnot. Obviously it comes down to execution, right? And so I'm not saying that the coaching staff and the play calling gets more blame, but I think when you kind of divvy up that blame pie, the play calling and coaches get a big slice of that blame pie, along with the players, of course. And so going back to what you asked, I need to see Seattle convert on 3rd down. I need to see Seattle convert, especially in the red zone, and kind of turn those field goal attempts more so into touchdowns. I need to see Seattle just score points, just put some points up on the scoreboard. I mean, again, we talk about the talent on this football team. I know the offensive line isn't as healthy as can be, but the receiving core, the running backs, Geno Smith, the best deep ball passer in the NFL last year. I need to see this. More points, more conversions in the red zone, touchdowns, more conversions on 3rd down. Defensively, Seattle was a top 10 unit defensively before whatever happened in Baltimore last week. And so when I look at that Commanders defense, like you talked about, Tom, you guys lost your 2 best pass rushers in Montez Sweat and a Chase Young. As far as points allowed, I think the Commanders are actually bottom 2 in the NFL as most, or as far as
we're
most points allowed.
27th in the league in points allowed.
27? Okay, because I checked earlier and I saw 30th or 31st at like 27, 28 points a game. I could be wrong.
It's still terrible.
It's bad. It's bad either way. And so I think that with the talent that Seattle does have, and coming off that debacle against the Baltimore Ravens,
you're right. 30th in the league in scoring. You're right.
30th.
Okay. 30th in the league.
Yeah. So again, let me just recap: conversions on third down, more points, especially in the red zone, and just more points. Period.
Okay. For us, we're actually a decent third down team. So I'm not worried about the third down efficiency for us per se. But third and shorts have been my problem with the Washington Commanders. Third and fourth and shorts. Eric Bieniemy has stopped being so daggone pass happy on the short yard situations. That has been annoying me to no end. Example: Week 8 versus the Eagles, we were dominating that game 14-3, having the ball in Eagles territory, looking for more points, and we have a 4th and 1. And what does Eric Bieniemy do? Call a pass play. And what happens? The Commanders do not convert. Eagles score a touchdown for halftime. Joey Slye gets a 61-yard field goal to kind of cut the momentum down a little bit. Eagles score 20 points in the 21 points in the fourth quarter, and we lose. That play changed the entire game. Like, run the ball. Like, I don't understand. Run the football. Like, other situations like the versus the Broncos, stuff like that, we was down 21-3. Having 4th and shorts and him not electing to run the football to just keep the chains moving and dropping back Sam Howell for just not to convert. Just stuff like that needs to stop. Like, we have to be a lot better on short yard situations, and the play calls be better. We have to run the ball on these short yard situations. Even like the obvious play, hey, if your line can't push these guys for a yard, they don't need to play. Like, figure it out. It's time for a little bit of big boy football in Washington if I'm Eric Bieniemy. Next thing I want to say is be very wary where you throwing the ball at, Sam. Be very wary. Because these corners play no games. Tariq Woolen and Devin Wilson will pick you off. And they don't just pick you off. They take it to the crib. They make you pay for letting them pick you off. So being very careful in throwing lanes, trying to throw the least dangerous passes at all. I'm not saying be super safe, but be cautious, at least to a certain extent. I think it's super important in this game. And like I said, be cautious, don't turn the ball over. And I think with us, we got to turn the run game faucet off. And it sounds weird when you said this out of my mouth, but make Geno Smith beat you. Like, make Geno Smith have to drop back 45, 50 times to beat you. Don't let Kenneth Walker get 5 yards, 4.5 yards a pop. You have balance, then you go play action fake, and then the floodgates open with Tyler Lockett, JSN, and DK Metcalf. And this is a favor I asked for Jack Del Rio. I repeat, I do not want to see Emmanuel Forbes within 100 yards of DK Metcalf. Keep that boy far away as possible. We saw what A.J. Brown did to him, okay? He publicly emasculated him on television. I'm not trying to see that no more, okay? So, Jack, learn your lesson, please. Thank you. So I have a question for you. I know you are a diehard Seahawks fan, but I know you're an NFL fan in general too. Out all these young quarterbacks in the league right now, how are you liking Sam Howell compared to these other young guys like Kenny Pickett, the Desmond Ritters of the world? He got benched recently, but nonetheless, Will Levis, he's starting to play now. Even a guy like Mr. Irrelevant and Brock Purdy, all these other young guys. Like Jalen Hurts still relatively young. Like all these younger quarterbacks. How you liking Sam Howell compared to these kids?
I like Sam Howell, bro. Before the season, on the fantasy sports network that I'm signed to, I was talking about how I think that he's going to be a sleeper, not just in fantasy, but in real life. Just because at UNC, when he had weapons, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. He should have been, or I think he was a Heisman candidate. And then I think going into his last year in college, when he had lost everybody to either the NFL or they just, weren't over there at UNC no more, obviously his play trailed off like a ton. And so he went from being like a fringe first round prospect to I think he fell to y'all in the 5th round. Was it the 5th round or 4th round?
Fifth round.
Yeah,
At one point, he was a top 5 pick. They told him being drafted in the top 5.
Right.
Fifth round.
And so I think a lot of what went into that was his ability to kind of improvise, his scrambling ability, his underrated mobility, his escapability in the pocket. And he has that gunslinger mentality. And so I think that when you compare him to a Kenny Pickett, I'll take him over a Kenny Pickett. You compare it to a Desmond Ritter, I'll take him over a Desmond Ritter. You compare him to a Will Levis right now, I'll probably take him over a Will Levis. Over Jalen Hurts, probably not. I don't think anybody would.
I'll take Hurts over Howell. I'll be honest. I'm not biased. I'll take
Hurts. Yeah, Hurts over Howell for sure. But outside of that, every other name that you brought up, I'll take Sam Howell over them. I think right now, I can't go as far as to say that he's a bona fide franchise quarterback, but I do think that he's at least an above average quarterback right now in the National Football League. He deserves to be starting. And I think he's showing the Commanders why they made the right decision in starting him. And so I think I want to see another good season, next year and hopefully beyond before I could look at him and say, oh, yeah, he a franchise quarterback. But definitely right now, he's an above average quarterback. I like what you guys are building with Eric Bieniemy and that offense. We look at some of the struggles in Kansas City, and people keep talking about whether or not or people keep asking whether or not they're going to get it back, right? But I don't know, because Eric Bieniemy, he's in Washington. He's not in Kansas City no more, and he definitely played a big part in Kansas City's success. And so I think the future is bright in Washington. You guys have a lot of playmakers, Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, like we talked about earlier, Curtis Samuel, Logan Thomas. I have him on some of my fantasy teams. And so Sam Howell has a lot to work with. I like what he brings to the table.
Yeah. As for me, I think I dropped a video on this about 3 hours ago. I ain't go check that out. Go check out that video. But I want to shout out my guy Louis T. He's our biggest Commanders YouTuber in our community. And he has a saying called "New How Order" NHL, and I completely agree with him. I think the world is young man, dog. I really do. Like, I really think we have a guy. Like, me being a Commanders fan, me being 30 years of age, I've watched a lot of quarterbacks walk out that door. The Robert Griffins, the Kirk Cousins, the Jason Campbells of the world, Patrick Ramsey, Mark Brunell, you name it. Like Todd Collins, all these guys. Yeah, I've not seen Carson Wentz, and I'm a Carson Wentz apologist. I admit that all the time, but it's something about this kid that's different. Like his moxie, his attitude, his arm arrogance. He's a little arrogant with his arm, but all that just equates to a fight. When Josh Allen throws ill-advised, crazy, wild, stupid interceptions, Bill fans ain't ready to kill him. But this kid throws them, and our fan base is ready to kill him. I'm like, but Josh Allen do the same dumb crap. Like Patrick Mahomes do the same dumb crap. If you look at the statistics, they're almost identical to a guy like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Now, honestly, he does have more pass attempts than those guys. That shows the faith that Eric Bieniemy does have in him and how good he thinks Howell is. But I do want to kind of cut down the pass attempts. Like I said, I want more balance. I want this kid getting sacked 100 billion freaking times. But nonetheless, I do think we have a guy. Is he going to be the long-term answer? Who knows? I think we have a guy right now, kind of like the Kirk Cousins thing, like the next 3 to 4 years or so, before you start to maybe say, okay, all right, bro, is he really the guy? But like, I think he's the guy for at least the next couple of years, I think, in my opinion. I like Sam. I'm a big Sam guy. And I appreciate you agreeing. We'll be on the same page of how we feel about how you feel about your quarterback right now, though? How you feel about Geno? I saw a post. Here we are. All right. So I saw a post on Stevie's Instagram. This is why I'm asking the question. And someone stated, I won't say who the Seahawks fan is. I think they're crazy. They should have benched Geno Smith for Drew Lock, and I thought that was absolutely asinine. So, what are your thoughts on that? How you feel about your quarterback?
So right now, bro, I'm standing behind Geno Smith. There's a lot of Seahawks fans over here in Seattle that, have been flooding my comments, in my DMs talking about, oh, it's time to start Drew Lock. It's time to start Drew Lock. And they tripping because they tired of seeing Geno Smith turn the ball over, right? And so if that's what you're tired of, is Drew Lock going to all of a sudden solve that? Because, and look, this isn't me trying to disrespect Drew Lock whatsoever. Like, I have a lot of faith, maybe not a lot, but I have some faith, in a Drew Lock. But, when he was coming over from Denver in that trade to Seattle, he was known as a turnover machine. Like, he's also turnover prone. Right. And I know in the preseason.
in Denver because I wanted him in 2019. So I watched a lot of this machine for sure.
And he's also a gunslinger himself. Like, there's a lot to like with the Drew Lock, but there's also a lot not to like. And I'm not saying that he's the same turnover machine that he was in Denver just because, and I know it's the preseason, but, you know, watching him in the preseason, watching him during training camp, he's cut down on those turnovers. But as far as what we've seen in game, he is still a turnover machine until otherwise proven in real regular season action. And so that's not going to solve things. And like I talked about earlier, the offensive line has not been healthy all year long. And so you put in a Drew Lock still behind a messy offensive line. What do you think he's going to do better? Like,
real turn the ball over.
He's still going to turn the ball over, right? Because the offensive line not being healthy, that plays a big part, you know, into that. And so, yeah, I don't think it'd be a good idea. Like I said, I dropped a video the other day. Let's wait until the offensive line is healthy in Seattle. Let's wait to reserve judgment. I understand the statistics, the turnovers, they don't look good right now for Geno Smith, but we got to wait until the offensive line gets healthy. Now, when the offensive line is healthy, and let's say he's still turning the ball over, he's still not looking good, he's still not looking like what he did last year, then it's like, all right, you know what? It might be time. But until then, I'm waiting to reserve judgment. I'm standing behind my quarterback. I'm still looking at the weapons. They got to step it up. Play calling got to step it up. The coaches got to step it up. And again, no disrespect against the Commanders, but I view this week as a bounce back week. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. I'm not trying to disrespect and say that, oh, Seattle's going to blow out whoever, but I do think that
we're gonna pass rush, bro. I get it. We'll have a pass rush. I get it. I get it.
Well, that definitely gonna play a factor. It's still gonna be a good game, though. I really do believe it's gonna be a good game. But yeah, with the Geno again, bro. To answer your question, I'm standing behind them. I think that these guys can't get right. It's just crazy to me that when a little adversity hits, everybody's so quick to just turn on them, man. And that's crazy to me. Like, I'm not just going to turn on them just like that.
When he was with the Jets, they did the same thing. He was in New York, and that's why he was a backup for so long because they just did him dirty. My quick thoughts. I agree with that. Now, if you guys had a quarterback in waiting, that's different. Like, you drafted a guy in the first round, something like that. Like, took a Hendon Hooker, for example, in this past draft. Been okay. Right. All right, look, man, you gotta get together, bro. If I see this kid play, I'm gonna go pull this kid out, pull him out the Pepsi bottle and drink it, and get him on the field. Like, once you open up the bottle and the rookie quarterback goes play, he's playing. Like, that's over with. So, and plus, you guys are still above 500. It's not like you guys are 3-5 or you guys are, you know what I'm saying? Like us, like 4-5 and trying to get your life together. You lost 4 straight or something like that. Yes, I know he's been struggling. I get that. You guys are still above 500. You're still in a division race for a division title. Stick with your guy. He got you in the playoffs last year. Don't give up on Geno yet, right? Geno will be just fine, I believe. Now, do I think he'll go back to what he was last year? Probably not. Now, will he be better than he's been this year and closer to what he was last year? Yeah, I could see that. So a happy balance. Better than he's been this year, but not quite the same guy he was last year. It's like a kind of an in-between. Really solid NFL starter, can get the job done, but he's not out here just lighting up the league. Like, that was an anomaly. I told Seahawks fans, a little bit of an anomaly. I still think he'll be fine, but I don't think he'll do what he did last year again. That's kind of hard to repeat a performance like that, especially when teams have film on you now and really can dissect your strengths and weaknesses. It's kind of hard to repeat that again unless you're elite, which I don't think Geno Smith is elite. He's above average starter, though, so I think he'll be fine. Get the offensive line healthy, keep that balance with Kenneth Walker, and he'll be fine. I wouldn't be concerned if I'm a Seahawks fan about Geno Smith. Be concerned about the offensive line getting healthy. That's what you should be concerned about, not Geno's play. He'll be fine. There's no pass rush. The Commander's gonna get carved up this week. He'll be fine. Like, calm down.
Bro, one thing I do want to add too, and with the Geno Smith, he's gone up against 2 top 3 defenses in the last couple of weeks. Yes. I mean, the Browns, the Ravens, these ain't no scrubs defensively. These are some of the best teams in all of football defensively. I think the Ravens have the best defense actually in the NFL. The Browns, I think they have a top 3 defense in the National Football League.
The Browns are the best defense in football, but it's a toss-up. It's apples and oranges. It's apples and oranges.
Right? Either way, both are top 3 defenses, regardless. Facts, right? And so what that tells me is that, okay, maybe as far as can we win a Super Bowl, with Geno Smith at the helm? Probably not. But can he take this team to the playoffs and win a game or two? I'd say yeah. And so that's another reason why Seattle fans got to calm down. They got to calm down.
I agree with that. I think people need to chill on Geno, let the season play out. It's not like Drew Lock probably didn't go do anything better. It's not going to happen.
That's what right.
Drew Lock is not good. I'm sorry. He's not good. I've watched a ton of Drew Lock. He has good moments, but Drew just turns the ball over too much. He wants to fit in these tight windows. He will make these crazy throws in these highlight plays, but does not want the consequences that come with those. So that'd be my problem with now. If Drew kind of like reeled himself in and was more cautious, sure, I want to see more of Drew Lock. But until we seen it on the field, how can we say he's going to go out there and reel himself in and be more cautious and be more judicious with the football and not just try to make these crazy throws? I'm going to go for those 4-yard ball the freaking DK Metcalf when it's not one-on-one. It's 2-on-1. I'm going to fit between this corner and safety. I'm going to fit this tight window in and not get picked off. He'll do stuff like that. Like, that's the stuff that Drew Lock does. He'll bring these tight windows and do stupid crap, but you get picked off and like, oh my God, Drew Lock sucks. And ready to throw hands with him. Like, it's just don't throw Drew Lock out there, please. Just don't. Just stop. Like, I think the thing with football fans that we have to realize is that the backup quarterback is a fan's best friend when the starter's not playing well. When the starter's kind of struggling a little bit and doesn't have his bearings under him, he's turning the ball over, making mistakes, things of that nature. The first thing they do is bench the starting quarterback. I had Commanders fans ready to bench Sam Howell to week 3. Get him out of here. He sucks. Sam Howell in there. Give the kid a shot. Like, what is Jacoby Brissett about to do? He gonna do the same daggone thing Sam doing. He's 7 years older. He gonna throw. He gonna keep throwing picks like Sam did, but Luke worse because he's a veteran. No, I keep Sam out there. And now I'm like, oh yeah, Sam, yeah man, Sam. Stay out behind over there with the Sam haters. Go stay over there. Stay over there. Stay over there. I got my quarterback. That's my quarterback. Stay over there. Okay? My quarterback. So we're both in agreement with that one. We're completely in agreement. Elijah Harrison wants to ask you this question, Seahawks fan. Can the Seahawks draw blitzes very well? Something kind of concerned about their pass rush, giving them second. Yeah, that was bad. He isn't worse than 20. I don't know. When I watched that game, honestly, you guys were just winning one-on-ones. Just dominating them one-on-one. It was nothing exotic. It was nothing special. I was just whooping the guy in front of you. And Daniel Jones didn't have a glimpse of a chance. What are your thoughts when you saw that game on that Monday night when y'all destroyed Daniel Jones' career? Firsthand.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, bro. I didn't see Seattle putting up 11, but it was kind of expected. I did expect Seattle to wreak havoc just because at that point in time, the Giants didn't have the worst O-line in football. I mean, damn near everybody was injured. Daniel Jones just had no weapons, and so he was holding on to the ball for far too long. It was just the perfect storm. I'm kind of confused to how the question is phrased. So they're asking
because when we think about the Seahawks, we don't see a star pass rusher, right? We don't see a Matthew Judon or Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa on a smaller scale like a Montez Sweat, Chase Young. But who's that? Mafe. I like him a lot. Though. I like Mafe a lot. That boy's I like him. But outside of him, it's like a bunch of guys who play well together, but they're not like a star. They're not this shining star that's above the clouds and they can do everything. They're unstoppable. They're not one of those guys. So he's like, how are you guys getting pressure like this? Like, how are y'all doing this? Y'all doing it getting one-on-ones? Or you guys blitzing well? You guys doing twists and stunts? How are you guys getting pressure on the quarterback?
Bro, there's a lot of quality. There's just a lot of guys on the defensive line that is capable of beating one-on-ones. I mean, I think this is the most stacked that Seattle's defensive line has been in years. I mean, you look at Draymond Jones. Seattle brought him in via Denver. He's been getting after the quarterback. He's been able to stop the run. Jaron Reed is having a resurgent year in Seattle. He's like tied for second on the team in sacks as a nose tackle with 4 sacks. Right. And so he's been doing his thing. We look at Uchenna Nwosu before he was hurt. He was wreaking havoc both in the run and as a pass rusher. Boye Mafe has a sack in 6 straight games. I made an argument saying that Boye Mafe might be Seattle's best defensive player this year. And last year, as a rookie, he had 3 sacks in 17 games. This year, through 8 games, he has 7 or 6. So here he has double the production that he had last year, and we still have a lot left to go in the season. Jamal Adams, Seattle hasn't used them like they have in the past as far as, sending them out on blitzes and whatnot, but he's still a weapon that could potentially be used down the stretch. And so I think to kind of answer the question, Seattle is just really deep when it comes to the front seven. Seattle has a lot of bodies. There's quantity. There's a lot of guys that can win one-on-one just because Seattle doesn't blitz all that often. And when Seattle does, it's not like there's a bunch of exotic stuff. Yeah, there's not a lot of exotic stuff. There's not a lot of stunts. There's nothing too crazy and creative. Now, what I have noticed is that Seattle is sending DBs more into blitzes, like Devin Witherspoon. He's getting after the quarterback. I've seen Tariq Woolen. He's been, a part of those packages where the DB's blitzing, a couple times here and there. And so, I think again, what was that?
Don't gamble like that this week. You might pay.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about this week, but I think overall, Seattle just has a lot of bodies. There's a lot of quantity. There's a lot of quality among that quantity. Yes. And there's still weapons that have yet to be unleashed in like a Jamal Adams. And so, I think all that kind of plays into why Seattle has been so good at getting after the quarterback this year.
Yeah. I saw my notes. You guys win one-on-ones very, very often. You guys have a very high pass rush win rate. I think it's like 38%. It's like top of the league or like top 5 in the league in win rate, something like that. You guys are very, very good. Yeah, I mean your line in general. I think I saw some like an advanced stat.
Oh, okay.
40% pass rush win rate, something like that. Or you guys get like 60% pressure on a quarterback, but you guys win y'all guys one-on-ones at least 40% of the time individually, which that's insanity. That's kind of scary. Can't lie to you. I'm a little scared. If you guys could also send a guy like B-Wags on the blitzes too. Bobby Wagner can.
Oh, he's one of the best blitzing linebackers.
Yeah. It's another thing that you guys can do. You guys can do a lot of things. Y'all guys do everything y'all can do. Y'all began to quarterback a much, much higher rate than you already do, and that's kind of scary. So, yeah. Commanders, watch out for Jamal Adams and B-Wags and Mr. Woolen on blitzes. Like that could get a little nasty for us.
Spoon, actually, Devin Witherspoon.
Oh yeah, Spoon. Oh, okay. Y'all saying Woolen? Okay, so I want to ask you this now. Who is y'all cornerback one, honestly? Is it Witherspoon or is it Woolen?
This year, it's been Spoon. It's been Lil Spoon. Yeah. I said it.
Spoon?
It's been Spoon this year. Yeah.
You gonna guard Terry this week? This would be spicy. I like that. The run.
Yeah. This year.
I like Devon Witherspoon a lot. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I love Witherspoon, bro. And no bias, but I really truly believe that he's played at an all-pro level. Like, forget defensive rookie of the year. I think he's been an all-pro as a cornerback this year. I mean, we see him in the slot. We see him on the outside. He's versatile. He's everywhere. He can get after the quarterback. He can stop the run. He's sticky in coverage. He's top 10 in passer rating allowed amongst all cornerbacks. I mean, this dude
he'll pick you off and take you to the crib.
Right. I mean, bro, what
he does everything. What he cannot do, right?
What can he do? And I know this sounds crazy, but Pete Carroll can't say this because he coached him up. But Pete Carroll compared Devin Witherspoon's instincts to Troy Polamalu.
Ooh.
Right. And again, Pete Carroll coached up Troy Polamalu at USC. And so Pete Carroll can say that. And not many people can say that, but Pete Carroll can. And at the time when I made a post about that on social media, everybody was like, yo, Pete Carroll tripping, Pete Carroll this, Pete Carroll that. And I'm not saying Witherspoon is going to be
Troy Polamalu.
What was that?
Because he coached him, he coached Troy. So he knows what Troy's strengths and weaknesses are. He knows how good his awareness is. He compared to other players. I'm not mad at his mouth.
And Pete knows how to coach up them DBs. And so when you put a DB as talented and as instinctual as a Devin Witherspoon, and Pete Carroll's lap, we're going to see magic. We're going to see fireworks. And that's what we're seeing this year. And so to answer your question, Tone, I think right now it's not that hard to answer. Seattle's cornerback one has been Devin Witherspoon. Tariq Woolen has not been the same as last year. He has 1 pick on his season. He's gotten picked a few times this year. He's allowed a lot more touchdowns than I'm accustomed to seeing. And so I know for him, he did spend a lot of training camp injured. And so he's kind of gotten out to a slow start. I expect him to pick it up. But until he does that, Devin Witherspoon is this team's CB1.
Okay. So I'm expecting a lot of Witherspoon versus McLaurin this week.
I think we'll see what Witherspoon Seattle deploys him all over the formation. He's been spending a lot more time in the slot just because Seattle likes to have Trey Brown and Tariq Woolen on the outside. Witherspoon, he could play on the outside, but I think for the most part, unless Terry McLaurin is going to be in the slot, we probably might not see that matchup too much.
Okay,
We'll
so
see
you'll probably see Curtis Samuel, Jamison Crowder with Witherspoon a lot. Yeah,
right. But I think if McLaurin is eating, then it's like, all right, hold on.
We got throw Spoon over there, bro. Spoon
throw Spoon over there.
So Spoon over there. Man. Put him a seatbelt. Put him seatbelt treatment. Just little seatbelt treatment. Stay right there. Where you think you going? Put a little seatbelt on him. I think it's hard to put a seatbelt on Mr. Terry McLaurin though. So
he one of them. He one of them.
Yeah, and I had a Commanders fan call me sideways in the comments. That was on Terry mid because he dropped 2 balls in the Eagles game. Like, bro, stop that, bro. He like, yeah.
So they say he's mid because of that.
Yeah, and he like, because he not Devontae Adams or he not Tyreek Hill. Da 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 da. No, I'm like, those are the special of the special. Those are the elite of the elite. See, that's my thing. Like, some of our fans don't appreciate really good players. I'm not saying Terry McLaurin is elite because I don't think he is. I do think he's a top 10 receiver, if not at 9 or 10-ish. But my thing is like, yeah, he's not quite elite, but he's right behind those elite guys. He's right behind those. Like, he is borderline that. The only reason he's not elite to me because he's not doing AJ Brown doing. AJ Brown is spanking everybody the week. AJ is spanking everybody. You get this work, you get this work, you get this work, you get this work. Some weeks Terry kind of isn't doing that to some point. AJ spanking everybody. Tyreek is spanking everybody. Everybody's getting this work. Everyone's getting this work. It doesn't matter who it is. You're gonna buck put on your head or buck 50 and probably an end zone trip because I'm him. Like, don't play with me like that. Terry ain't doing that, so that's why I can't put him in the elite. But he's really good. He gets the job done more weeks than not. So he's been dependable. I don't like when fans say that. They talk stupid. They get on my nerves, and they really make me angry when they disrespect my boy 17. Like, don't do 17 like that, man. It's my boy, man. It's my wide receiver, man.
Bro, look, he don't got to be elite. Like, when we talking elite, that's like top 6, top 7 at your position. I mean, because there's a lot of receivers, right, in the league. And so I think for you to be an elite receiver, at least top 6, top 7. And so if you have a guy that's in the top 10, top 12 as a wide receiver, he doesn't need to be elite. I mean, he's up there already. He's up there. He's just good. Because he's not right, exactly. And he's always been underrated, and he finally has a quarterback. And so I don't understand that. I mean, I'm not even a Commanders fan, but I'm giving him his flowers. And so whoever is saying that, I mean, tell him to take a seat because
he tweaking.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah. So I haven't watched a lot of Seattle Seahawks. I watched enough to see how good your defense is. Ridiculous. How has Jackson Smith and Jigba been for you guys this year? How'd JSN before you?
His play's been picking up.
That's why he started off a little slow. I did see that.
He did start off slow, but keep in mind, in the preseason, he did break a bone in his wrist. And so, although he did come back in time to play week 1, there was a doctor on Twitter that said that JSN probably wasn't going to be healthy until after the team's bye. And so, coincidentally, after Seattle's week 4, week 5 bye, his play started to pick up. Like I said, in the last 3 weeks, his snap percentage has gone up. His yards, I think he's eclipsed 60 yards twice in the last 3 games. Yeah, he's getting more involved.
63 in the Baltimore game. A touchdown in the Arizona game and a touchdown in the Cleveland game.
So in that Arizona game, to be fair, DK did miss that game. But he played, 2 of the last 3. And so JSN has been putting up numbers. He is getting more involved. He is, I think, as healthy as can be. And with this offense in need of answers, I only think we're going to see more of JSN. Like, I would not be surprised at all if we see his first 100-yard game, or at least his best game of the season this year against the Commanders. Or not this year, this weekend.
This week. I won't be surprised to see that either, because we do lack a slot corner presence with us. St. Juice on the outside along with Fuller. We've seen Emmanuel Forbes play on the outside sometimes. When you play on the outside, it's gotten very ugly for one Emmanuel Forbes. I think this week, you might see a rookie on rookie. You might see a Forbes on a JSN or something like that. I think that'll be an interesting matchup to see in the slot. That should be very, very, very interesting to see what they do with Forbes this week. Do they play him a lot? Do they just say, all right, we got St. Juice and Fuller, let them handle Metcalf and Lockett, and we'll just throw Danny Johnson the inside. Well, hey, look, man, got our best free corners out there. Put St. Juice in a slot with JSN. I think that's a bad idea. I would not do that. Juice has no speed. He has no recovery speed. He is terrible recovering on plays. And if JSN gets even, he's leaving. And it's going to get very ugly for one Benjamin St. Juice this week. I'd rather St. Juice check a guy like Metcalf. And I'd rather put a guy like Fuller on Lockett. And I put Forbes in slot versus JSN. That's just me, though. Or even the Cam Curl, if you got to get that kind of creative with it. But he better be only on JSN. I guess we're in agreement, Elijah. We're good in agreement. So we talk about keys to victory, guys that we kind of want to see play on both of our teams. Let's get some X factors. Sunday, who's one offensive and defensive X factor for your team?
Man, I mean, I hate to sound like a broken record, but it got to be JSN, right? I think when you look at, again, Jackson Smith-Njigba, I think he's going to be key for Seattle if they're going to unlock their potential on third down. Just because JSN, he's just a complete receiver with what he could do, especially with the ball in his hands after the catch. He was one of the best receivers in all college football as far as yards after the catch. And so I think if Seattle could kind of tap into that a little bit more, even with other receivers like a DK, I just don't understand why, but Seattle is constantly, perpetually near the bottom of the league as far as yards after the catch. And so I think if this offense is going to wake up, we need to see like more easy completions, just more layups. Like, let's let Geno Smith get into rhythm. So throw more short passes, more quick passes, throw more screens, give these guys more opportunities, to make plays after the catch. And so I think with a Jackson Smith-Njigba, because the offensive line still isn't as healthy as can be, I think why not? Test out more quick passes, just more stuff like that. Put more things like that into the game plan. Even if Seattle doesn't have too much to worry about as far as your guys' pass rush, I do think that this is a great opportunity for them to kind of just test it out. And hopefully in the future against more of the elite teams like the Niners, the Eagles, just because Seattle does play a tough schedule moving forward, I think it'd definitely be some good practice to get it in against a team that probably isn't that good at getting after the quarterback. So on offense, I'd say Jackson Smith-Njigba is an X factor. I think defensively, man, there's so much talent. It's kind of hard to pick just one guy, but I think that if he's going to fit the bill as an X factor, just because he hasn't played all that well this year, I'm going to say Tariq Woolen. I think that he is going to be Seattle's X factor come Sunday, just because what we've seen on tape so far, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys start picking on him. And so if you guys kind of come into the mindset or kind of come into the game with that plan of we're going to pick Tariq Woolen, I think he could be Seattle's X factor defensively, because if he could replicate or at least get back to what he was doing last year, I think y'all pass offense might be in some trouble, because like I said earlier, Devin Witherspoon is his team CB1. Trey Brown, big play Trey, he's been holding his own, doing his thing. And so if Tariq Woolen is going to get picked on, I think it could end bad if he regains form from last year.
Yeah, I can agree with that to a certain extent. What I do like about our offense, however, though, Sam Pro's an open guy. If a guy's open, he's throwing it to him. So I don't think he's going to go into the game picking on one specific corner. That's not his play style. He's more of a point guard. He gets the guys open. Terry's open, bro. Terry. Jahan's open, cool. Kurt's open, cool. Logan Thomas open, or Gibby open, I'll throw to Gibby. Like, I'm not about to just throw a B-Rob open on the screen or something. I'll throw to him on that. But he's not just going to just pick on one corner. That gets you in trouble. I completely agree with that. I wouldn't be picking on Tariq Woolen like he wasn't as good as he was last year. Let's not do that. Let's not just pick on a guy because he's having a kind of a little bit of rough patch in his career at the moment. I'm not going to just pick on a player. I know it's good, but he's had a rough patch. I think that's kind of foolish. As for me, offensively, Jamison Crowder. I like what JC Ice has been doing for me lately. That's me and my guy Louis T's nickname for Jamison Crowder. JC's been doing some good things. 7 for 95 versus the Eagles in week 8. Had about 5 catches for 35 yards last week. So he's been involved in the offense, even with Curtis Samuel playing. I don't think he'll be 100%. So I do think we'll see a lot of full receiver sets. De'Ami Brown's kind of like in the doghouse right now, so it's more of the JC show with Byron Pringle and Vin Wahan and Terry and Kirko. So in fact, there's Jamison Crowder. I like what he's been doing lately. He's a slot machine. Dude is still a dog. The OG's been getting it done. I like what the OG's been doing. Shout out to JC. And he's a punt returner. And he took one to the crib a couple weeks ago. So shout out to JC Ice, man. Defensively for me, it will have to be Jamin Davis. I say that because we have not been getting home with 4 since we traded our 2 edge rushers away. So I think Jack's going to have to get in his bag, start sending Jamin on some blitzes to kind of attack that A gap, because I know your offensive line isn't at you guys' best right now. Your tackle may be struggling a little bit, so maybe and with the 2 defensive tackles inside with John and Duran, you're doubling one of them. You're doubling one of them. That's our best pass rushing guys are in the middle. You're doubling one of them. It's going to happen. That's going to happen. So that allows one of those A gaps to be open either to the left guard or right guard. So if they blitzing Jamin gets to the quarterback. He had 4 sacks last year from the inside linebacker position. So he knows how to get to the quarterback once he blitzes. And he knows gap responsibilities and things of that nature too. So he's good in the run game. So that would be my defensive X factor for me. So Jamison Crowder on offense, and then defensively, I would say Jamin Davis would be at my X factors. Well, it's been a pretty long preview. So we got X factors out the way. We talked about players on our teams, things of that nature. What is your final score in this game?
Commanders fans, y'all might want to close your ears a little bit. But I'm gonna rock with Seattle here again. Like I've been saying, it's kind of been a theme on this preview. I think that this is the perfect opportunity for Seattle to kind of get right, playing against a young team. Again, you guys have a lot of potential. There's weapons on offense. I like Sam Howell. But defensively, I do think that there are a lot of concerns. And I think that with the talent that Seattle does have available, I think that this could be one of Seattle's best games, if not their best game offensively. And so I think final score, Seattle kind of gets back on track as far as what they can do on offense. They score 31 to Washington's 20.
Woo! Put 30 burger. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, y'all allow about 30 a game, so why not see?
About the edge rushers is even worse. So,
right.
You know what? I know it's hard to win in Seattle. I know it's hard. It's hard to win in Seattle. Seattle's a very daunting place for people to go win at.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, I completely agree. I think Sam Howell's going to have a Kirk Cousins moment back in 2017.
Yeah,
2017 with Josh Dotson. Josh Dotson catches the ball at the 1 yard line, and Robert Kelly runs it in. I think you guys are a very formidable football team. It's not disrespect at all. This is it. This is how I feel. This team on the Ron Rivera beats one team, and that's supposed to be every year. They do it every year. They beat one team, and it's always an NFC team. It's never an out-of-conference team. Even last year, they beat the Eagles on Monday Night Football. They beat one team a year. They're not supposed to beat. We already played the Eagles twice, and we let them get away twice. So that get out of jail free call with a better team with the Eagles has already been exhausted. Any other NFC teams we play later on, you can get away with the Cowboys maybe, but I don't think we'll beat the Cowboys this year, in my opinion. We beat one team every year, and I think this is the team. This is the team. This is the team. I think it's shootout fashion. I think we're going to see some fireworks Sunday. A lot of fireworks. I have 33-30 Commanders on a game-winning Joey Slye field goal.
Okay. All right.
Commanders get the ball last. They're going back and forth. Now, I will say this. Y'all defense is very formidable, so I will not be surprised if there's no 30 burger being put up here Sunday. I'm just talking trash at this point. But
as you should, though.
I do think with these receivers, they can get open. They can make some plays, and they can give these corners a hard time. Now, Spoon, I love Spoon, though. I love Spoon. I think the slot guys might be struggling, but the outside guys, on the other hand, I'm not thinking we're going to pick on Tariq Woolen, but if he's on Terry McLaurin, I'm throwing 17, probably 9 times out of 10 if it's Tariq Woolen. because of his recent struggles. And it's Terry McLaurin, so it's my best receiver. Like, I'm going to throw to my best guy.
Right.
But yeah, I really think that 33-30, game winning field goal from slot. Commanders had the ball last, run away with Seattle with a victory. But unlike I feel like that the last time we played y'all in Seattle, y'all kind of struggled. Y'all lost to us. I think like
y'all won.
Y'all, if y'all just go crazy, y'all just start beating everybody, and if y'all clinch a playoff berth early in freaking December or something, and we won't be hearing the whole Geno Smith thing. Now I do think Geno Smith will have a bounce back game though. I got Geno having a 300-yard game, 3 touchdowns thrown, 1 turnover. So I would say if he throws 35 pass attempts, 25 for 35, 320, 3 touchdowns in a pick. I think Howell's going to throw the ball about 40 times, so 30 for 40 for Howell, 325, 330, 2 touchdowns, probably a pick because Spoon likes picking the ball off, as well as Tariq Woolen. He'll throw. I think both quarterbacks throw pick, but they throw more touchdowns than picks. It turns to a shootout. And like Elijah said, these boys are 9-1-1 in November. The last 2 years under Ron Rivera. These boys going a little Mickey Mouse win streak. They win all these games in November. Get everybody believe in crap, and then December they just fold and we cry and we get heartbroken. So I'm ready. I'm ready for the win streak. I think it's coming. So you guys are very capable of winning though. So would I be shocked if you guys won? No. I'm just going off the history of this team in November, the way Howell's playing, and the fact that this team's not scared to go to Seattle. This team's not scared to go to Seattle. Like, they go to Philadelphia all the daggone time and give Philadelphia a freaking hard time. Why can't we go to Seattle, right? So this is going to be fun. I can't wait. Either way, Steve's still my guy.
Yeah, come on.
If you would love to do a post-game show after the game, that would be dope if we could do that. That should be fun.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'll be home. So if I can, it might just be on my phone. But definitely hit me, bro.
For sure. Every time I got Jared, she said, Steve, like your backup running back, Zach Chuck. I'm dead.
I mean, I'm darker than him, but that's what he said. LOL. What?
What? She called me this. Woo! Now I don't see that. I don't see that.
6?
I don't see 6 points. Not with this defense. No.
Hey, look, no disrespect. I think she might have had a little too much to drink. I know it's Friday night, so
she might have grabbed the costume out the refrigerator and start chucking it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I kind of disagree with that one. About that. No, I don't see. I don't see 30-6. I see 33-30. Commanders, and you got 31-20 Seahawks.
31-20. Yeah, 31-20.
That's okay. That will not surprise me. And neither would 33-30 and a game-winning field goal by Joey Slye would surprise me. Even when these results would not surprise me. So, and I think also that we're in kind of a crossroads in our season too, where it's like put up or shut up. You guys in a much better position being 2 games above 500. I don't think you guys are that pressed to win this one. We're like backs against the wall. You got to win. So
honestly, that's not a bad point, Tone. But I think that when you look at Seattle's schedule after these next 2 weeks, because we got you guys right this Sunday. The week after, we got the Rams. But then after that, got the Niners on Thanksgiving. Then got the Cowboys, and then the Niners again, and then the Eagles. So that's a gauntlet right there. That's a 4-game gauntlet against.
I got the Niners twice, the Cowgirls and the Pigeons.
Cowgirls and the Eagles. Bro, that's a 4-game stretch against the best teams in the NFC in 1 month. And so, look, Seattle has to take care of business. And again, I say that with no disrespect, but Seattle has to take care of business against the Commanders and the Rams. And then no matter what happens in that 4-game stretch, I think Seattle has to leave with at least 1 or 2 wins. So,
hey, shout out my guy that's my guy from high school. Shout out my boy Clack, man. What's up, bro? How you doing, my G? I don't disagree with that because that's a nasty gauntlet. The Niners twice, the Cowgirls, When you gotta play the Gaggon Eagles, I have no
Yeah.
respect for the Cowboys, so I call them the Cowgirls. I have no respect for them fools. I think they're overrated. I think y'all play them in Dallas. Y'all play them in Dallas. Go to Jerry World and whoop them. Like I think y'all capable to go in
I think
Jerry
it's in
World.
Seattle, Thursday Night Football.
Oh, they're not winning that game.
Yeah, they're not. Nah.
They're not.
I wouldn't trust them. Not in Seattle.
I wouldn't pick them to beat no damn Seattle. Hell no. But I'm picking us to beat Seattle. So I'm talking trash. Whatever.
Are you good?
I mean, yeah, I think the Cowboys they just fold under pressure to big moments. I think they're overrated. So I think y'all could beat them. The Niners is tough because they've lost 3 straight. They're kind of looking to kind of ride a couple wins to get back to the left column. So that should be tough. The Eagles are due for a loss. They're 8-1. They've been getting away with foolishness, getting away with calls, and all sort of bull crap. They're due for a loss. I would actually pick y'all to beat Philadelphia. So I think I'll split that 2-2.
That gauntlet.
Yeah. I think y'all both. You guys beat both NFC East teams, and unfortunately, I see a sweep of the Niners coming. So.
And that's fine. I think right now, I mean, until we make it happen, Seattle has to earn those wins. And so I'm not mad at you.
I think both NFC East teams are definitely primed to be beat, especially the Eagles. They are due for a fall. They need to lose. Like
that game's in Seattle too. That game's in Seattle. The one against Philly.
Yeah.
That one's in Seattle. I'm gonna be there.
East teams in Seattle.
I'm gonna be there.
Y'all gonna beat both of them. I'm gonna declare that right now. Y'all gonna beat both of them boys. Now I don't know about the Niners, but y'all gonna win both of those games. I think so. At least 2-2 per that stretch. Y'all beat the Rams, and hopefully we beat y'all. Because I don't want to go to 4-6. I don't want my season end in November, bro. I don't.
It wouldn't be over. Hey, I think when you look at
but after we play you guys, we play the Giants. We should beat the Giants.
That's a dub.
After we play the Giants, we got to go to Dallas on Thanksgiving Day. That's we don't go to Dallas and win.
I hope that's a dub. Shoot.
We don't go to Dallas and win too often, so I'm not betting my money on that. We beat them in FedEx. We just don't beat them in Dallas. It just don't happen. And we play Miami, so we got a little dicey over here on both of our sides. So got to play 2 of them boys at FedEx Field, nonetheless. But home or away, that offense is scary. So I don't know how, with no pass rush, I don't know how the hell we're gonna go beat Miami, but that's tough. So we'll see. We will see.
Yeah, bottom of the NFC, bro. It's not too much competition there.
5 will have 8 wins. This NFC gonna be 8-9, bro. The NFC is so wide open, it's ridiculous.
It is.
So we never know. But yeah, Steezy, anything else you want to say, bro, before we wrap up the stream?
Man, I just want to say, bro, all glory to God. And, it's a pleasure always working with you, bro. I appreciate you for having me on. For you guys that's tuned in, for those of you guys that will tune in later, if you aren't already subscribed to my dog, man, at Protect Sports Network, he's out there grinding, hustling, doing his thing. I know him and I haven't, talked in a while, but I still keep up with what you do, bro. So keep doing what you do. Keep doing what you do. Keep being who you are. And I know you just had a kid too, so man, you a busy man, and so a lot of respect to you. Hats off to you. So to everybody out there, if you already subscribed, man, show him some love. Hit that subscribe. And then if you're interested in seeing what's up in Seattle, just things across the NFL, what's going on. I do a little bit of NFL and NBA as well, not just Seattle stuff. You can find me all social media platforms at Steezy A. Smith, SteezyASMITH.
Yes, sir, man. Go subscribe to Steezy, man. He did a lot of good content. A lot of NBA stuff. I wish you could do more Sixers stuff. I appreciate that. But yeah, I would appreciate that. But nonetheless, I appreciate what you're doing on your channel. Do a lot of good things. Go subscribe to his channel if you haven't done so. I'll try to get Steezy on a podcast, me and my college homie, for a few minutes if you can, if he's available. So if y'all want to go ahead and check that out in a few minutes. I got a DET football podcast with me, my boy Dio and Dave. We talk NFL. We go slate skating throughout the National Football League. Predict every week. Do a weekly recap every week. Then after that, then the next week. So, y'all want to pull up to that? That'll be about 10 minutes. I'll see if Steve's want to hop on. If my bro Ty, you gotta do some things. Cool. If so, you might see him in like 10 minutes. But subscribe to his channel if you haven't done so. SDJ Smith. The hyperlink is right on the title, so go subscribe. Get my bro to his next milestone. Next milestone be 4K for you.
It will be, yeah. I was on hiatus for like a year, so I feel like I would have hit that by now if I hadn't gone on hiatus. But I ain't trying to get back into it, so
yeah,
I
man.
appreciate that.
Get my boy to 4K. I usually get him twice a year. We play we play us, and I do division roundtables every year in the off season. So hopefully we can get these going around that time. So that'll be fun as well. Doing a little slate skating for the NFL during the off season. See everybody hitting on. See what type of time y'all on, which I need to improve your team on all that type of stuff. So you'll see Steve in the off season for sure. But if you don't see him on the podcast after this, but like, comment, subscribe, comment your thoughts on this video. Comment, thank you, Steezy, in the comments for pulling up. My man's all in the West Coast, so different time zone, different all that kind of jazz. So appreciate you, bro. Thank you for pulling up. Much love. And yeah, man, we're gonna wrap it up here. Y'all guys be easy. Have a good evening. And I'll be back in about 5 minutes. I don't know about Steezy, but I'll send the link anyway if you want to pull up. Cool. Not, bro. I'll see you in the off season when our season's done, and we'll wrap it. We'll wrap for sure.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you. Stay smooth, y'all.
Yeah, man. Stay smooth, my brother. Peace, good.